So in yesterday class, we discussed regarding nomenclature of haloalkanes, monohaloalkanes, dihaloalkanes, polyhaloalkanes, and some different types of haloalkanes nomenclature we discussed. In today's class, we'll discuss isomerism in haloalkanes. Afterwards, we'll go for preparation methods. What do you mean by isomerism? Two or more compounds having same molecular formula but different structural formulas are called isomers, and this phenomenon is known as isomerism. Again, this is further divided into two types: structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Again, structural isomers are further divided into chain, position, functional, metamerism, and tautomerism. Again, stereoisomers are further divided into geometrical isomers, optical isomers, and conformational isomers. Out of these, haloalkanes mainly exhibit chain isomerism. The second one is position isomerism, and the third one is optical isomerism. So haloalkanes exhibits mainly three types of isomerism: chain, position, and optical. So regarding this chain and position isomerism, already we have studied in first BE syllabus. Regarding optical isomerism, still we didn't discuss it. Now this optical isomerism we will discuss in haloalkane chapter itself. Now, what are chain isomers? Two or more compounds having same molecular formula but a different arrangement of carbon atoms in the long chain. Those are called chain isomers. Position isomers. These are isomers which are produced due to the change in position of the functional group or substituent or multiple bonds. So those are called position isomers. Optical isomerism later we'll discuss. Let us see now how many structural isomers are possible for a given alkane. Not excluding optical isomers. Right now we are discussing only regarding structural isomers. So it exhibits chain as well as position isomerism. Take an example here, CH3Cl. This is chloromethane or methyl chloride. So this will not exhibit isomerism. CH3, CH2Cl. This compound contains only two carbons. So here also isomerism is not possible. We cannot change the position, we cannot change the chain. Now take the third example here, C3, H7Cl, nothing but CH3, CH2, CH2Cl, nothing but N-propyl chloride. Now, for this, we cannot change the length of the chain here. Minimum 3 carbons is required to exhibit isomerism in haloalkanes. The minimum number of carbons required to exhibit a structural isomerism in haloalkanes is, we are discussing excluding optical isomers, only regarding structural isomers. So this is N-propyl chloride. This is. Now here the chlorine atom is present at the first carbon atom. Now I will change the position. Instead of first carbon, here I will take a halogen at the second carbon, replace hydrogen with chlorine. Now this is nothing but isopropyl chloride. N-propyl chloride and isopropyl chloride. So what is the difference between these two? Here halogen is bonded to first carbon, whereas here halogen is bonded to the second carbon atom, 1, 2, 3. So both these two are position isomers. So the molecular formula is C3H7Cl. But this is the haloalkane, the smallest haloalkane which can exhibit structural isomerism. I'll go for one more example here. C4 H9Cl, C4H9Cl. Now, first I'll take a long chain CH3, CH2, 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 Cl. This is nothing but N-pentyl chloride. Next, for this, I'll take the chain isomer CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, Cl. This is a chain isomer. Means one carbon I have taken as branch. Right. Now, so first one and this is second one. So 1 and 2 are chain isomers. Now, I will write a position isomer for the first compound. Now here, the chlorine is present at the first carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of at the first carbon, I'll take the chlorine at the second carbon now. I'll change the position of chlorine. Then CH3, CH2, CHCl, CH3. Now for this is a position isomerism. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the name of this compound is 2-chlorobutane. So this 2-chlorobutane is the position isomer of this compound. Now for this, I'll change the position. And one more. Instead of taking chlorine at the second carbon, if you take at the third carbon, numbering should be given from this end. Then also the position should be 1 and 2. So only one position isomer possible for this. Now here, instead of taking chlorine here at this position, I'll take the position here. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 1-chloro-2-methyl propane. Now instead of taking at the first position in this chain, I'll take the chlorine at this position. Then we can get the structure like this. CH3, C, CH3, CH3, Cl. This is also chain isomer. Means these two alkyl groups are attached here to the first carbon. Now, so here there is no change, there is no chance to change the position. If you change the position, you can get the same structure here like this, or any one of these compared like this. So total how many structures are possible here? 4 structures. So for C4H9Cl, these are the chain isomers, and this is the position isomer. And here there is no chance to get a position isomer. Suppose if you change the position of this chlorine to here, this exactly becomes like this. Instead of taking chlorine here, if you place the chlorine here, the structure is exactly become like this. Or here, if you change the carbon chlorine to here, or here, the structure will be like this. Or like this it will become. So totally 4 structures are possible here. So the compound with the C4H9Cl is having 4 structural isomers. These are chain isomers, and this is a position isomer for the first compound. So this is a isomerism in C4H9Cl. So haloalkane with 1 carbon and 2 carbon cannot exhibit structural isomerism. Minimum 3 carbons are required to exhibit structural isomerism in haloalkanes. With the C3H7Cl formula, we can get 2 isomers only. With the C4H9Cl, we can get 4 structural isomers. Now I'll go for one more compound, C5 with 5 carbons. C5H11Cl. So what are the isomers of this compound? Let us see now. Just we'll represent only the carbon atoms. C, C, Cl. This is nothing but N-pentyl chloride. Now to this I'll write the structural isomers. Cl. Instead of taking carbon chain here, methyl group here, I can take methyl group here also. Then I can get one more structure. Otherwise, I'll take 2 carbons as branches here now. C, C carbon, just a minute. No, not like this. This is one compound, and here one methyl group is taken as the branch. I'll take two methyl groups as branches now. So here four structures we got, four chain isomers we got. Now I'll let the position isomers for this. Instead of taking at the first position, if we take the chlorine at the second position, then the structure will become like this. C chlorine. Now this is the position isomer for this compound. Instead of taking at the second position, we can also take the chlorine at the third position. Now it become like this. So these two are the position isomers for this compound. Now I'll let the position isomers for this compound. Instead of taking at the first carbon, in the long chain, 4 carbons are there. I'll take the chlorine at the second position. Now this becomes like this. C, C, Cl, C. Now this is the position isomer for this compound. Instead of taking at this carbon, I'll take the chlorine here at this carbon. Then we can get the structure like this. This is another position isomer for this. Now come to this. To this compound, if you change the position, for example, instead of taking chlorine at this first carbon, if I place the chlorine at the second carbon here, this will be exactly equal to like this. Or if I place the chlorine here, then this will be exactly like this. Okay. Or if I place the chlorine here, then that will be exactly like this. So no other structures possible for this compound. And here, suppose if you change the position of chlorine from here to here, here or here, so this is symmetrical compound. See here, C, C, C. This is neopentane. So neopentane is the symmetrical compound. Means what the 4 methyl groups present here, these 4 are exactly identical. Wherever you replace a hydrogen by chlorine atom, you can get the same structure. So there is no position isomer for this compound. So totally how many structures we got here? Totally 8 structures we got. Then come to the name of this compound. This is N-pentyl or chloropentane, N-pentyl chloride. This is N-pentyl chloride, and this is an iso group. From the terminal carbon at the second carbon, methyl group is present as branch. So this is a iso compound. 5 carbons are there. This is a isopentyl chloride. Isopentyl chloride. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4. At second position, methyl group is there. At first position, chlorine is there. So name of compound is 1-chloro, 2-methyl butane. 1-chloro, 2-methyl butane is the name of this compound. Now take this compound. So this is a neopentyl group. This is neopentane. From the neopentane, if you remove one hydrogen by chlorine, we can get neopentyl group. So the common name for this is neopentyl chloride. And if you want IUPAC name, this is a 1-chloro, 2-2 dimethyl propane. This is long chain. This is a 1-chloro, 2-2 dimethyl propane. So 1-chloro, 2-2 dimethyl propane. These 4 are chain isomers. Now, for the first compound, these 2 are position isomers. So here chlorine is the first position. There is nothing N-pentyl chloride, or this also we can add as 1-chloropentane. Now here the chlorine is present at second carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is 2-chloropentane. This is 2-chloropentane. Now here the chlorine is at third position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is 3-chloropentane. 1, 2, 3. 1-chloropentane, 2-chloropentane, 3-chloropentane. These three are position isomers of each other. Now to this, these two are position isomers. Now what is the name of this compound? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2-chloro, 3-methyl. Total 4 carbons are there. Butane. So 2-chloro, 3-methyl butane. 2-chloro, 3-methyl butane. So this is the IUPAC name of this compound. Now what about this? This is the long chain here. Numbering should be given from this end. From this end you can get third position. From this end you can get second position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the name is 2-chloro, 2-methyl butane. 2-chloro, 2-methyl butane. Right. So this is regarding names of these isomers. So overall, haloalkanes exhibit chain isomerism, position isomerism, and optical isomerism. Out of these, chain and position isomers are structural isomers, whereas this is a stereoisomer. Excluding stereoisomers, we are just discussing here about structural isomers only. So C5H11Cl has totally 8 structural isomers. C1 does not exhibit, C2 does not exhibit, C3H7Cl 2 isomers, C4H9Cl 4 isomers, C5H11Cl 8 isomers. So like this we can write first chain isomers, and then for the chain isomers we can write position isomers, and we should count total number we can get. So regarding optical isomerism, in further topic we'll discuss. Now this is about isomerism in haloalkanes. So now let us see the preparation methods. So what are the preparation methods of haloalkanes? In this first one, from alcohols. Again, from alcohols, by different ways we can prepare haloalkanes. So from alcohols we can produce first one by the action of halogen acids. Second one, by the action of phosphorus halides. There is a phosphorus trihalide as well as phosphorus pentahalide. And third one, by the action of SOCl2 in the presence of pyridine. So by these three methods from alcohols, we'll discuss regarding preparation of haloalkanes. First one, we'll go for first one. So preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols by the action of halogen acids. What are halogen acids? Nothing but HF, HCl, HBr, and HI. These are halogen acids. But by this method, we will not prepare fluoroalkanes. Because here rate of means the reactivity of fluoroalkanes is less. See, the order of reactivity of these halo acids is nothing but HF is less than, HCl is less than, HBr is less than, Hi. So this is the order of reactivity of haloalkanes. Sorry, halogen acids, hydrogen halides. Why this reactivity order we can get here? Because here fluorine to chlorine, bromine, iodine, the size of the atom increases. As the size of atom increases, bond length increases and bond enthalpy decreases. So the less reactivity of HF with alcohols is due to high bond dissociation enthalpy of HF. So from fluorine to iodide, the bond enthalpy decreases. That's why the reactivity increases. This is the reactivity of haloalkanes. So here, fluoroalkanes cannot be prepared by this method. You can prepare chloroalkanes, bromoalkanes, as well as iodoalkanes. Now, in the first one, so by the action of HCl on alcohols, what is the general formula of alcohol? ROH. This is the general formula of alcohol. So when this alcohol is allowed to react with a concentrated HCl and ZnCl2, N-hydrous ZnCl2, the mixture of concentrated HCl and N-hydrous ZnCl2, this mixture simply is called as a Lucas reagent. This mixture of a concentrated HCl plus N-hydrous ZnCl2. This is called as Lucas reagent. And this process of preparation of alcohols is nothing but called as a Gru's process. This is called as Gru's process. Now, so when alcohols is allowed to react with a constant HCl, this is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. So here OH minus is replaced by Cl minus. Cl minus replaces OH minus. The replaced OH minus and H plus combine to form water. Then we can get RCl plus H2O. And here, what is the role of N-hydrous ZnCl2? In this reaction, N-hydrous ZnCl2 acts as a catalyst, as well as it can remove the water what is formed here. Otherwise, this haloalkane may undergo hydrolysis to give back the reactants. So this role of ZnCl2 is it acts as the anhydrous array, it acts as a catalyst as well as dehydrating agent. So this is the preparation of means nothing but chloroalkanes by the action of concentrated HCl. Now let us see an example for this. CH3 CH2OH, which is nothing but ethyl alcohol plus concentrated HCl in the presence of same N-hydrous ZnCl2. Now here Cl minus replaces OH minus, then you can get CH3 CH2Cl plus H2O, which is nothing but ethyl chloride. Ethyl chloride. So what is the nature of this haloalkane? This is a primary haloalkane. What is the nature of this alcohol? This is a primary alcohol, nothing but ethyl alcohol. So ethyl alcohol on reaction with the mixture of N-hydrous ZnCl2 and concentrated HCl, we can get ethyl chloride. Instead of a primary alcohol, if you take a secondary alcohol, CH3, CH2, CH3, here OH. This is a secondary alcohol. Simple, just like a haloalkanes. If the OH group is bonded to secondary carbon, there is a secondary alcohol. Now, this react with the concentrated HCl in the presence of N-hydrous ZnCl2, and then we can get isopropyl chloride plus H2O. This is the isopropyl alcohol. So isopropyl alcohol react with mixture of concentrated HCl and N-hydrous ZnCl2 and gives isopropyl chloride. This is isopropyl chloride. Now let us see the action of tertiary alcohols. I'll take a tertiary alcohol here. Tertiary butyl alcohol I'll take here. Here OH is attached to tertiary carbon. Total 4 carbons are there. This is a tertiary alcohol. The name is tertiary butyl alcohol. This is tertiary butyl alcohol. React with concentrated HCl and gives CH3, CH3Cl plus H2O. So here, in first 2 cases, I mentioned ZnCl2, but in third case, I didn't mention ZnCl2. So here, even in the absence of ZnCl2, tertiary alcohol react with concentrated HCl and gives haloalkane. This is nothing but a tertiary butyl chloride. Tertiary butyl chloride, this is. Primary alcohol as well as secondary alcohol require anhydrous ZnCl2 as catalyst, whereas a tertiary alcohol didn't require any catalyst. So even in the absence of ZnCl2, tertiary alcohol can react with the concentrated HCl to give tertiary butyl chloride. Why? So because here the rate of reactivity of alcohols is in the order of a reactivity order. So reactivity order of alcohols is tertiary greater than of alcohols. Reactivity order of alcohols is tertiary greater than, secondary greater than, primary. So tertiary alcohols are more reactive as compared to secondary and primary alcohols. That's why even in the absence of ZnCl2, tertiary alcohols react with concentrated HCl readily. Okay. So this is regarding a preparation of chloroalkanes by the action of HCl on alcohols. So in this, we use the mixture of concentrated HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2, and the mixture is called as Lucas reagent. Concentrated HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2 mixture is called as. And that react with the primary alcohols to give primary haloalkane, secondary alcohol to give secondary haloalkanes, and this one, and tertiary alcohols to give tertiary haloalkanes. But in the preparation of tertiary haloalkanes, we didn't require ZnCl2 because tertiary alcohols are more reactive. So even in the absence of ZnCl2, the reaction takes place. Because the order of reactivity given here is tertiary greater than, secondary greater than, primary. This is the order of reactivity. So this is regarding a preparation of chloroalkanes by the action of HCl on alcohols. Now, what about bromoalkanes? So by the action of HBr, we can get bromoalkanes. Let us see, those we'll discuss. Clear? Now, ROH, alcohol. When alcohols are allowed to react with 48% concentrated HBr, when alcohols are allowed to react with 48% concentrated HBr in the presence of concentrated H2SO4, gives bromoalkanes RBr plus H2O. Then what is the role of this H2SO4 here? The role of concentrated H2SO4 is it acts as a catalyst as well as a dehydrating agent, both. The functioning of H2SO4 is it provides H plus ions for the reaction, acts as a catalyst. And what the water formed here, that water will be absorbed by this H2SO4. So in this reaction, concentrated H2SO4 can act as a catalyst as well as dehydrating agent both. Let us see an example here. CH3, CH2, OH. This is ethyl alcohol. When ethyl alcohol is allowed to react with HBr in the presence of the same concentrated H2SO4, then here OH minus replaced by Br minus. Just a nucleophilic substitution. Then we can get CH3, CH2, OH, Br plus H2O. So when this is a primary alcohol. So when a primary alcohol is allowed to react with hydrogen bromide in the presence of H2SO4, then we can get bromoalkane. This is nothing but ethyl bromide or bromoethane. Ethyl bromide, common name bromoethane IUPAC. What about secondary? So if you take a secondary alcohol, CH3, CH3, OH plus HBr in the presence of same H2SO4. Or if you take a tertiary alcohol, tertiary butyl chloride I will take here. So tertiary butyl alcohol plus HBr in the presence of concentrated H2SO4. So here, in these two cases, we will not get bromoalkanes in pure state. Instead of bromoalkanes, we can get alkene as the major product. Why you get alkene as the major product here? See here, with the primary alcohols, nucleophilic substitution takes place and we got ethyl bromide as the product. But if the same reaction if we carry with a secondary alcohol or tertiary alcohol in the presence of H2SO4, instead of substitution, here elimination takes place predominantly. Why? Because this concentrated H2SO4 can act as a strong dehydrating agent. Since it acts as a strong dehydrating agent and the reactivity of tertiary and secondary alcohols is more than compared to primary alcohols, this H2SO4 can dehydrate readily the secondary alcohols as well as tertiary alcohols. Means instead of substitution of OH minus by Br minus, elimination reaction takes place predominantly. There is a dehydration of alcohols takes place predominantly. If dehydration of alcohols takes place, then what you will get? Alkene as the product. So means here from this carbon OH, from this carbon hydrogen, here it will get eliminated as water. Then what you can get? CH3, single bond CH, double bond CH2. Propene you can get as the product. Similarly here also, OH from this carbon, H from this carbon get eliminates and we can get 2-methyl propene as the product. So in this method, secondary and tertiary bromoalkanes cannot be prepared. Only primary bromoalkanes can be prepared in pure state. Because in the preparation of secondary and tertiary bromoalkanes, the elimination takes place predominantly and we will get alkene as the major product, not the haloalkane. This is one method for the preparation of bromoalkanes. Now, same bromoalkane we can produce in one more way also. So the second method of preparation for the bromoalkane same. When alcohols ROH is allowed to react with NaBr or KBr, sodium bromide or potassium bromide, in the presence of again H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4. Then what the products obtained here is, you can get RBr plus NaHSO4 plus H2O. These are the products. Then how these products are obtained here? Let us say Actually, this equation, this reaction, both are exactly same. What the difference is? Here HBr react directly with alcohol, whereas in this reaction, first NaBr react with H2SO4. When concentrated H2SO4 react with the salts of acids which are less volatile than to it can displace the corresponding acids. Means when NaBr react with the concentrated H2SO4, so here displaces hydrogen bromide. These two react to give NaHSO4 plus HBr. That NaHSO4 is formed here plus HBr. Now HBr react with alcohol to give bromoalkane and water. So both these reactions are same. What the difference is? Here HBr we have taken directly. Instead of taking HBr, here we have taken sodium bromide, and that sodium bromide react with H2SO4 to produce HBr. That HBr can react with alcohol to give bromoalkane. So now same example I'll take here. CH3 CH2OH, ethyl alcohol plus NaBr in the presence of same concentrated SO4 gives CH3 CH2Br plus NaHSO4 plus H2O. So this is the preparation method for bromoalkanes. So when primary alcohols react with hydrogen bromide in the presence of H2SO4, we can get bromoalkane. Or when primary alcohols are allowed to react with the sodium bromide or potassium bromide in the presence of concentrated H2SO4, then we can get bromoalkanes. And this method is not suitable for the preparation of a bromo. There is a secondary and a tertiary bromoalkanes. Why? Because H2SO4 can act as strong dehydrating agent. It dehydrates the secondary and tertiary alcohols readily. As a result, we can get eliminated product, that is alkene, as the major product. So this is regarding preparation of bromoalkanes from alcohols. What about iodoalkenes? Let us see now. See, for the preparation of iodoalkenes, here we will not use HI, we will use potassium iodide. That is the equation. ROH, primary alcohol or primary alcohol. Alcohols, when allowed to react with Ki, potassium iodide. In the presence of 95% H3PO4, then we can get iodoalkane we can get. So when alcohols are allowed to react with potassium iodide in the presence of 95% phosphoric acid, then we can get iodoalkane as the major product. Okay. As well as the byproducts, we can get KH2PO4 plus water also. Yes, I have written only the major product formed here. And here, why we have to use this 95% phosphoric acid? Why we should not use concentrated H2SO4? Suppose in this reaction, if we use a concentrated H2SO4 instead of phosphoric acid, what will happen? If we use concentrated H2SO4 in this reaction, what the potassium iodide is there, this potassium iodide is first oxidized to, is converted to hydrogen iodide, and then this is converted to iodine. As I told you, concentrated H2SO4 can displace the acids from their salts which are less volatile than to it. So from the potassium iodide salt, H2SO4 displaces hydrogen iodide. And then this hydrogen iodide is oxidized to iodine. This iodine cannot replace this OH minus. So in the preparation of iodoalkanes, we should not use concentrated H2SO4 because that concentrated H2SO4 can oxidize potassium iodide to, means can convert potassium iodide to hydrogen iodide, and then this hydrogen iodide is oxidized to iodine. That's why concentrated H2SO4 should not be used here. Only 95% phosphoric acid is used. This also acts as a dehydrating agent. Concentrated H2SO4, 95% phosphoric acid, N-hydrous P2O5, N-hydrous CaCl2, alumina, KHSO4, all these can act as dehydrating agents. So depending on the required, we'll select a dehydrating agent. So if take C2H5OH, ethyl alcohol, when ethyl alcohol is allowed to react with the potassium iodide in the presence of 95% phosphoric acid, then you can get C2H5. So this is preparation of iodoalkanes by the action of potassium iodide. Actually, potassium iodide is converted to HI. That HI can react with this, like this. So this is the first preparation method. Preparation of haloalkanes from the alcohols by the action of halogen acids. See once briefly. Fluoroalkanes cannot be prepared by this reaction because of less reactivity of HF due to high bond dissociation enthalpy. Next. Chloroalkanes can be prepared by the action of hydrogen chloride with alcohols in the presence of N-hydrous ZnCl2. In the preparation of that, primary and secondary alcohols require ZnCl2 as catalyst, whereas a tertiary alcohol didn't require ZnCl2 as catalyst. Preparation of bromoalkanes. When primary alcohols are allowed to react with the 48% HBr in the presence of H2SO4, then we can get primary bromoalkanes. But by this method, secondary and tertiary bromoalkanes cannot be prepared. Why? Because concentrated H2SO4 can dehydrate secondary and tertiary alcohols readily and gives alkene as the product. Or instead of using HBr, we can also use NABr. When alcohols react with NABr in the presence of H2SO4, then also we can get bromoalkanes. Next. Iodoalkanes. Iodoalkanes are prepared by the reaction of alcohols with the potassium iodide in the presence of 95% phosphoric acid. Here H2SO4 should not be used because H2SO4 can convert potassium iodide to hydrogen iodide, which can be oxidized to iodine. So potassium H2SO4 is not suitable here. That's why I use 95% phosphoric acid as dehydrating agent. So this is the preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols by the action of halogen acids. In first part, in first preparation method, first method. Now come to the second method here. From the phosphorus solids, same by the on the action on alcohols. So if we take alcohol ROH, so when alcohols are allowed to react with PCl3, nothing but phosphorus trichloride, then just here also a nucleophilic substitution takes place. OH minus replaced by Cl minus, then we can get RCl. So here from three molecules, 3 OH groups are replaced by 3 chlorines, and then we can get H3PO3, which is nothing but a phosphorus acid as the byproduct. This is a balanced equation. Alcohols, when allowed to react with the phosphorus trichloride, gives chloroalkanes. And for an example, take the same by taking instead of R, take either methyl or ethyl or any group. You can. This is general equation. 3 moles of CH3 CH2OH plus PCl3 gives rise 3 moles of CH3 CH2Cl plus H3PO3. So this is the preparation of chloroalkane from alcohols by the action of phosphorus trichloride. This is ethyl alcohol and this is ethyl chloride. So this is the preparation of chloroalkenes. Then how to prepare bromoalkenes? Same method. Three moles of ROH plus PBr3. One more here. So plus Br2 in the presence of red phosphorus. Here PBr3 we are not taken directly. Instead of PBr3, we have taken the mixture of red phosphorus plus bromine, and these two will react to give PBr3, and that PBr3 react with this alcohol. Means whatever the PBr3 required in this reaction produced instantaneously in the reaction. Why? Because PBr3 as well as PI3 are less stable. Suppose if you want PI3, same, when red phosphorus is allowed to react with iodine in the reaction, then we can get PI3. So this is produced in situ, PBr3. Then we can get 3 moles of RBr plus H3PO3 common. This is the preparation of bromoalkenes. Just replace R with ethyl group and we can add the equation as it is, preparation method. In the same way, we can also produce iodoalkenes. When alcohol is allowed to react with mixture of iodine plus red phosphorus, then we can get 3 moles of iodoalkane plus H3PO3. So if you want example, just replace this alkyl group either with ethyl or methyl or any group and write the equation as it is. So this is the preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols by the action of phosphorus trihalide. Phosphorus chloride is stable, so directly we'll use phosphorus chloride, whereas PBr3 and PI3 are less stable. So whenever PBr3 and PI3 are required, we will produce them by the action of red phosphorus with bromine, or by the action of red phosphorus with iodine. We can get PBr3 and PI3, and that will participate in the reaction. So this is the preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols by the action of phosphorus trichloride. Now, what about a phosphorus pentachloride, PX5? Let us see this now. ROH. When primary alcohols or an alcohol is allowed to react with PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride, then we can get RCl plus HCl plus POCl3. When phosphorus pentachloride react with alcohol, we can get haloalkane, there is a chloroalkane plus hydrogen chloride plus phosphorus oxychloride. And an example if you want, just take here C2H5OH ethyl alcohol plus PCl5 gives rise C2H5Cl plus HCl plus POCl3. See how these products are obtained. Let us say, just I'll show the mechanism for this. This additional information not required for PUC part of this mechanism. But take see just mechanism I'll show here. Not necessary for PUC exam, this is mechanism. If you take PCl5 in solid state, PCl5 can exist as a PCl4 plus and PCl6 minus. This is the existence of phosphorus pentachloride in solid state. Now, ROH. This oxygen contains 2 lone pairs of electrons. Plus, this is PCl4 plus PCl4 plus. Okay. Now, so this will attack this oxygen. means oxygen donates electron pair to vacant orbital of phosphorus. Then we can get R OH P. So here 4 chlorines are present. This is now here what will happen is this electron pair is gained by this oxygen and this electron pair is gained by this chlorine. At the same time, this chlorine, this electron pair is just this is gained by this is gained by this, and this is Cl minus attacks here. After gaining electron pair, Cl minus attacks here. Then it gives R Cl plus what happened? Let it be as it is first. Whenever this donates electron pair here, this will be gained by this oxygen. Cl minus gains this pair and the Cl minus donates electron pair to R, and then this electron pair is transferred to oxygen. Then we can get H O P Cl Cl Cl. Okay. Right. Cl minus transferred here. This is transferred here, and then afterwards, see this electron pair is transferred to here, and then this H plus can get separate. So H plus can get separate, and this becomes a P double bond O Cl 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 plus H plus. Then we can get a PO Cl3. This is so first PCl4 attack this alcohol, and then Cl minus attack this alkyl group, and this electron pair is transferred here. Then we can get HOPCl3, and from this H plus get separates, and the remaining is POCl3. And what the replaced H plus here, and that remains as it is. That means that remains in the reaction mixture. So this is just a simple mechanism for this reaction. Overall, the overall change is nothing but OH minus is replaced by Cl minus. Okay. So mechanism not necessary for PUC. Just I explain here. So here by this method we can prepare chloroalkanes, but in this method bromoalkanes and iodoalkanes cannot be prepared. Why? Because PBr5 and PI5 does not exist in stable state. So this method is suitable for the preparation of chloroalkanes only, not for bromoalkanes or iodoalkanes, because PBr5 and PI5 does not exist in stable state. Right now, so this is the preparation of haloalkane from alcohols by the action of phosphorus pentahalides. Now come to the third one. Preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols by the action of SOCl2, that is called as a thionyl chloride in the presence of pyridine. ROH plus SOCl2 in the presence of pyridine gives RCl plus SO2 plus HCl, and this process is called as a D'Argens process. This process is nothing but called as D'Argens process. See here OH minus is replaced by Cl minus here also. Then we can get RCl, and the byproducts are SO2 and HCl. See what is the role of this pyridine? Pyridine is a base. This is the structure of pyridine. A heterocyclic compound. This is a base, and this pyridine base combines with a HCl, and this HCl is neutralized. Yes. HCl is neutralized by the pyridine base. Means this nitrogen donates electron pair to H plus and forms a NH plus, and Cl minus is bonded here, which is called as pyridinium chloride. Pyridine react with the HCl, and HCl is neutralized by pyridine to form pyridinium chloride. And SO2 is a gas, it will escape out easily. Then what is remained here? Only haloalkane. So this method is the best method for the preparation of haloalkanes. Why? Because what the byproducts formed here, that byproducts are gases which can be removed easily. So this Darjan's process is the best method for the preparation of haloalkanes, because the byproducts are gases which can be removed easily, and we can get haloalkane in very pure state. Whereas here, by this method, we can prepare only chloroalkanes. Bromoalkanes and isoalkanes cannot be prepared, because SOBr2, SOI2. What is this? Thionyl chloride. SOCl2 is nothing but thionyl chloride. Thionyl bromide and thionyl iodide does not exist in stable state. So only by this method we can prepare chloroalkanes only, not bromoalkanes and iodoalkanes. Okay. Then how this reaction takes place? Just here, briefly I'll tell you. Alcohol plus Cl, S double bond O. This is okay. First from this HCl will be removed. Then we can get ROS double bond O Cl plus HCl. Now from this, see here, this chlorine donates electron pair to this alkyl group, and this electron pair is displaced here. This electron pair is gained by chlorine. Cl minus donates electron pair to this alkyl group. That means we can get RCl plus. As this electron pair is transferred here, then we can get SO2, means S double bond O double bond O. So overall final products are RCl plus SO2 plus HCl. So these are gases. This is neutralized by pyridine, and this is a gas, can be escaped out. So this preparation of haloalkane from a thionyl chloride in the presence of pyridine from alcohols, which is called as Darjan's process. This is the best method, because the byproducts are gases easily and can be removed, and we can prepare haloalkanes in pure state. So this is regarding the first preparation method. So preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols by the action of halogen acids, by the action of phosphorus trihalide as well as phosphorus pentahalide, and by the action of thionyl chloride in the presence of pyridine. This is the first one. Still some other methods are there. In tomorrow class we'll discuss those. Thank you.